welcome.
Thank you, Camilla.
The 2013 IMF World Bank annual meetings have now wrapped up. What were the main issues that were discussed this time?
Well, I think in summary there were basically three issues. One was discussion of the global outlook. Where are we in this recovery from the Great Recession? And there I think the assessment was that the recovery continues to progress, but it's far too slow, uneven, and unbalanced. So much more to be done on the policy front. I think the second issue was the transitions that the global economy is going through on a number of fronts. One, the monetary policies that are changing from unconventional back to a more perhaps conventional phase. Changes in growth, the advanced economies showing some progress. The emerging markets still strong, but slowing down just a bit. And of course, implications for the low-income countries, which have been growing strongly. And then the financial sector, which 5 years after the Lehman crisis, we all know that's where it began. And again, progress on the financial sector, but a lot more to be done. And then, I think the third set of issues was really around what was happening in Washington as these meetings took place, which was the US fiscal issues with the IMF saying clearly they thought the government shutdown is a bad thing, a failure to raise the debt ceiling would be even worse. And the member countries here, the 188 countries, discussing what the global implications of that might be for them. So I think those were really the three sets of issues.
Now, if you put all these events together that took place this past week, I think there were more than 300 of them, of which 15 were main seminars. Which ones sort of really stood out, do you think?
Well, you're right. We had, as usual, over 10,000 people participating in these meetings from civil society, parliamentarians, academics, youth groups, and of course the officials, over 300 Minister of Finance, central bank governors. So the discussions, as usual, were very rich and interesting. In terms of what stood out, I think the program of seminars were world-class and touched on a range of issues, from the economic implications of climate change to the global implications of these unconventional monetary policies, to the prospects for the emerging markets, and to a fascinating debate that was hosted by CNN, which brought these issues to the fore.
Now, apart from the incessant rain, which sort of put a bit of a damper on things here in Washington during the meetings, how would you describe the mood of the meetings?
Well, for me, the theme really was interconnections and this increasingly interconnected world that we live in, where the spillover effects, as we say, from one country's policy to another are increasingly obvious. And we saw this play through in all the discussions, really, whether it was the implications of unconventional monetary policies for different countries, or indeed the US fiscal issues, because the way that was discussed at these meetings was really what might the implications of that be for different countries. And this came up even at the International Monetary and Financial Committee, the IMFC, where Minister Tarman and Christine Lagarde touched on these issues in their closing press conference, and they were reflected in the communique.
That's a good note on which to end, I think. Thank you so much, Gerry.
Thank you, Camilla.